Hello everyone, I'm Randy, your Lorcana librarian, and welcome back to the Stacks. With the release of Disney Lorcana on the horizon, only 7 days away from the day of this recording, and the beginning of organized play imminent, I thought I would start looking into all my options for decks. Now, the entirety of the player base has been brewing decks for as long as there have been enough cards to do so, and because of that, I had a lot of options to consider. I'm relatively new to the TCG game, and so my own brewing skills are not up to it just yet, which is why I've been on the lookout for something to try out to begin. The other day on Twitter, user Travis C. Gibson, whose Twitter I'll link in the description, posted an Amethyst Sapphire ramp deck. It looks right up my alley, so I thought I'd post a breakdown of the deck. Now, I do want to clarify before we get further into the video that there isn't going to be any gameplay shown this time. There's a couple of reasons for that. First, I'm new to the YouTube game and I haven't quite figured out how to do that, but I'm working on it. Second, as cheesy as it sounds, I kind of want the first time I actually play this game to be with physical cards, so I'm holding off for now. But onto the deck. This deck is going to include Amethyst and Sapphire inks, as I mentioned before. And this deck includes, in order of ink cost, 4 Flounder Voice of Reason cards, 4 Develop Your Brain cards, 4 Magic Mirror cards, 4 One Jump Ahead cards, 4 Magic Broom Bucket Brigade cards, 4 Dr. Facilier Charlatan cards, 4 Mickey Mouse Detective cards, 4 Maleficent Sorceress cards, 4 Friends on the Other Side cards, 3 Fishbone Quill cards, 4 Belle Strange But Special cards, 4 Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer cards, 4 Let It Go cards, 4 The Queen Wicked and Vain cards, 3 Dr. Facilier Agent Provocateur cards, and finally, 3 Hades Infernal Schemer cards. This is a ramp deck, which, for those unfamiliar with the term as I was, is a deck built around the ability to accelerate your resource, in this case, getting cards into your inkwell through abilities given to you by the various cards. In this deck, the 2 inks work in such a way that where the Amethyst cards, such as Magic Mirror, Maleficent Sorceress, and Friends on the Other Side, let you draw cards outside of your beginning phase. And Sapphire ink cards like One Jump Ahead, Mickey Mouse Detective, and Fishbone Quill can take those extra cards that you drew and allow you to put more than the standard 1 card into your inkwell per turn, taking all those cards that were just put in your hand and converting them to ink. The star of this deck, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen, is Belle Strange But Special. She herself allows you to also add additional cards to your inkwell, which with your other Sapphire cards gives you the options of getting a lot of ink into your inkwell incredibly quickly. However, once you've ramped up all that ink, Belle's ability, my favorite part, kicks in. The ability gives Belle a +4 to her lore count, resulting in a card that is 5 lore. And so once this kicks in, you should be able to get to 20 lore in no time, especially if you've been able to play multiple Belle cards. It's still too early to see how this will do in the wild, as constructed organized play isn't happening yet. There's a lot of people that are playing on emulators online. It does seem to be a limited field, and so it's going to be interesting to kind of see how decks in general operate once this is a wider release and stores are having play in their stores. So far, I do see that most stores, or just a lot of stores, are only having started challenges, but I do think that this one kind of has the chance to go the distance, as it will. I think I can make that joke because Hades isn't here, right? Anyway, I look forward to building this deck once the game releases and I get my hands on cards and just trying it out against my fellow players. There are a few other decks out there that I'm kind of itching to break down, to kind of dig into, because as a relative newcomer, doing this sort of thing helps me learn more about these things. And so I will say that if I got anything wrong in this video, in the short time I spent on it, or in subsequent videos. Do not hesitate to let me know in the comments, because I really do want to learn more, and I'm trying to learn more, and so anything really helps, or any advice for maybe changing the deck in ways that will make it better, or a little easier to play. But that's all for this video. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And you can also follow me over on Twitter at Lorcana Stacks. And I'll see you next time, back in the stacks.